Peace and what's good, YouTube? It's Kareem Samdi back again with another video. So today we're going to get into the throat chakra. This is the fifth chakra in the chakra system, and it deals with the element of sound, and its function is self-expression through creativity. The throat chakra is how we express our truth, who we are, what we intend to be, and what we intend to create in this world. The throat chakra is all about our mission, and it's all about us being authentic to ourselves and to the world and to others. The throat chakra is all about harmonizing the creativity that you had in the lower chakras and bringing it to a higher level. So, as I said in the heart chakra video, right, when you're dealing with the lower three chakras, you're dealing with the ego and your lower self. So I always say that the lower three chakras are important because when you balance those out and you let go of your humanity and you leave it behind, you don't bring it up to your higher chakras. You don't bring your ego's wants, needs, desires into your higher chakras. You're not contaminating the higher chakras and how you use that spiritual energy to propel yourself forward in this world and in the higher realms. You're not bringing that ego up. So when you balance those out, the way that you express yourself and your creativity becomes divine. And the sacral chakra and the throat chakra are directly correlated. So when you balance out the sacral chakra, you discover who you are, you discover your connection to your purpose, you discover your connection to creativity, you discover it on a lower aspect. When you raise that energy up in its balance, it transforms the same way that you transform after you go through the gateway of the heart chakra. And with the root and the solar plexus both balanced in tandem with that, and as well as the heart, now you're able to start creating on a higher level. Now you're able to start expressing yourself on a higher level. And this also affects your ability to receive truth. It affects your discernment. The throat chakra is all about discernment. It's all about truth. So the element of truth in this world that's full of lies and in this matrix that doesn't actually exist, with the egos that we have that don't exist. The nature of truth is very subjective because it depends on who it is, right? My truth is going to be different than your truth. And an all-encompassing truth is going to be different than what we consider to be the consensus, right? So truth expresses itself in different ways, but you always know what it is in your heart. You always know what it is in your bones. So you first want to discover the truth of yourself. This is a journey of self. So you want to discover the truth of who you are and how you want to create in this world, what you want to create out of yourself, and how you're going to be able to transmit that to the rest of the world, because we're all here doing spiritual work in different ways. And when we're expressing ourselves, we need to be able to express our truth. So that comes with being honest with ourselves, and you learn how to be honest with yourself in your lower chakras. That's the way that you move past them. So once you do that, the higher chakras, they begin to almost function automatically, especially after you get past the heart. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be, things here that you still have to deal with. The throat chakra, with the truth, your spiritual will bend in accordance to your truth. And the way that the more you raise your vibration and the more light that you bring into your being, the more truthful channels will come to you on a higher level, because you're making that connection with your higher self, making that connection with your soul. And so you'll begin to get spiritual messages that aren't tainted by your ego, because you balance out the lower chakras. You've been maintaining them, you've been vigilant of them, so you don't let your ego get in the way of your spiritual connection. And what you find for yourself as your truth, every revelation that you get will manifest as that truth. So when you don't actually balance out your lower chakras, what's going to happen is when you get into the higher chakras, everything that you deal with, so the channels that you get will just be, they'll seem like you'll get the channels from your higher self, you get the channels from your spirit guides, but what will happen is without the balance beneath the heart chakra, without that balance, without that foundation, and without that control over your humanity, essentially what's going to happen is all those messages, all that direction is going to get tainted. That truth is going to get tainted. It's going to be held back by the ego. And so your ego will masquerade as something spiritual, and it'll disguise itself so that you won't be able to understand your spiritual messages, and that'll really hinder you in your progress. So that's why it's important. This is why I said before, balance out the lower three before you worry about the higher chakras. Don't worry about the third eye. Don't worry about the crown. Don't worry about the throat. Worry about the root chakra, solar plexus, and sacral first before you get here. But when you get here, because you will, that's when you'll begin to really see the truth show itself to you. But the truth will only show itself to you if you have let go of what concept you think the truth is. Not just the truth about yourself, but the truth about the world that you live in, the truth about your purpose. You need to let go of any prior misconception or any prior conception even. Because in all reality, you don't know what the truth is until your higher self manifests that to you. You have to find that within. So this is why you have to let go of any agendas that you have coming in. Let go of wanting to anything that your humanity essentially wants to attach to, anything that your ego wants to attach to, which is becoming something in this world, changing this world, changing this matrix. Doing anything that involves humanity in the matrix. You want to let go of that. You want to let go of any misconceptions and conceptions that you have, and just walk in as a child will walk in, ready to experience something new. Let it come to you the way that it comes to you, and then run with that. That's essentially how we're going to be dealing with things, moving into realms that we haven't connected with since we got programmed and we had our spirituality go on lockdown, right? So you want to let go of those ideas that you have in your lower chakras and the ideas that your ego has, and you just want to walk in with a purified mind, a purified and an open mind, open to receive. To receive truth, you have to be open to receiving truth, and you have to let go of anything that's gonna get in the way. You don't want to impose your own will on the truth. The truth is what it is. So whether it agrees with your will or not, you have to be open to that. And another thing that I want to say is that when the throat chakra is balanced, you'll feel able to express yourself, because this is all about expression, right? So with your creativity, whatever you create, it's not meant to just be for you. Because when you get into the throat chakra, you're also moving past duality. You're also moving past separation. Everything that you create, if you've written a book, it's not written just for you. If you've written poems, they're not written just for you. If you made songs, they're not just for you. You make beats, they're not just for you. You have to share these things. And you can't continue to hide these things from the world. Express your creativity. I had to learn this the hard way, because it was hard for me to express my creativity for a long time, because I was scared of my own success, first of all, and I was worried about what others would think. And also sometimes I just didn't even really know how to. But as a child, for whoever's been on this channel really, really long, back when I was Super Silver 204 making the Sonic stop motions, I didn't care, because those were what I wanted to do. And my channel was very, very successful back then, and I was in middle school. As time went on, I started to make my 78 episode series dealing with my very first book. But I'm transforming that now, and that's going to be a physical book. It's going to be a physical manga. But I'm still working on that as well. But that story's finished already, and I've written 2 more. But the way that I'm moving towards that is that I'm practicing my art every day. And I'm going to start a separate channel just to deal with my art, just to deal with my stories instead. But it took a lot for me to even release those things. I didn't see as much success as I saw with the stop motions, but I did it anyway with the Game Maker program that I had, right? I still shared it. And as time went on, I did fall off a little bit, because I was finding myself in this world. But there were times where it was hard for me to even share that stuff with people, because really I didn't know how to, or I was telling myself I didn't know how to. And I thought it was just something I should just do for myself, but it's not for myself, because now that I have a mission, I'm tying in my mission with my creativity too, and that's going to express itself in different ways. You want to show your creativity to the world, because Your creativity is what's going to change and transform the world and raise the vibration of the world. That's how you do it. Rather than you trying to change it with your humanity, you want to change it with your divinity, right? And divinity will extinguish what holds humanity back, which is their ego. That's the way that we do this, right? We want to move into the realm of creation, into the realm of our higher selves. And to do that, that involves understanding ourselves and understanding how to express ourselves, right? We all have it in us. We all make things, because we're creators by nature. We all create things from the heart. And so we have to really get in touch with ourselves and not be afraid to, show our authenticity to the world. You want to be authentic with yourself, and you don't want to hold yourself back. You're the only one who can hold yourself back, right? A lot of us, we shoot ourselves in the foot when it comes to moving forward in life, because we essentially, we don't give ourselves a chance. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves a chance is because we don't believe in ourselves enough to express ourselves. And the ego will bring you down a lot. See, that's when, if you have a problem expressing yourself, it's because your throat chakra is blocked. And it might be blocked because somebody might have talked shit to you, and it might have just locked down your creativity. You might have not wanted to share it with someone. Anything could have happened, really. Or you might have not wanted to express yourself in general. Like, if you have problems with honesty, your throat chakra is imbalanced. You have problems with communication, because the throat chakra deals with communication. The body parts associated with the throat chakra are the throat, obviously, the neck, the mouth, how you talk, right? Your ears, listening to people, nose, what you take in, what you breathe in, and your hands. Because your hands, everything that you touch, you're creating. Your hands help you create. All those things, they have to do with the throat chakra. And that has to do, one, with our communication with others and with ourselves, because that's through our mouth. What we take in, what we listen to, who we listen to, why we listen to it, what we breathe in. If you're breathing in, the right amount of air, and our hands, what we get ourselves into, what we do with our creativity matters. It all matters. So you don't want to neglect this part of yourself, because if you neglect this part of yourself, you're not really going to transform into the God that you can be. And I say can be because, it's a choice whether you want to become a God. If you want to stay a human, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to move into a higher state of creation, if you want to move into a higher state of being closer to the ultimate reality, being closer to who and what you really are, you have to make that conscious choice to leave childish things behind, to leave humanity behind. And you have to be ready to become something new, to become something greater than what you were told that you were, right? It's all a matter of choice. And some of us are here to experience humanity only and leave behind our divinity, because when we come to earth, we forget who we are for a reason, so we can learn different lessons. We remember later after death. But while we're living, some people are here to experience humanity because they're at different points in their journey. That's perfectly fine. But for the people who are ready to ascend, who are ready to enlighten themselves, who are ready to leave, who are ready to move on to something new, do something new, become something new, it requires doing new things. And another thing I wanted to get to with the throat chakra is that when it comes to it being imbalanced, right, it being overactive, you're going to feel arrogant. You're going to talk too much, right? Talk too much but not listen to others, right? Because the throat chakra is all about communication. So when you're talking too much, you're not able to receive any synchronicity from others. If you're stubborn and, like I said, arrogant before, right? All those things can get in the way. That can block your intuition, that can block your intellect and your logic, because you're too busy trying to get your thoughts through. Your ego's in the way. The ego can exist in the higher chakras too. Like I said before, if you raise up your ego, this is what's going to show. You'll be addicted to certain things, right? Because obviously, like I said, what you take in is also in the throat chakra. So what you breathe in, if you smoke, but you smoke too much, what you eat, what you drink, if you take everything in excess, if you have too much greed and gluttony, all of that's going to feed the throat chakra, and it can make it overactive. So you'll be too self-righteous, right? Dogmatic. You won't be able to listen to other people's points of view. A lot of people who are hardcore religious, right, and unable to see different perspectives, they want to push those things on other people. They have an imbalanced throat chakra. If you're one of those people, you have an imbalanced throat chakra. You might have too much sexual energy here, because if the sacral chakra is unbalanced, then when you raise that up, the throat chakra will also be unbalanced too. So too much sexual energy, and you might be dominating others, but in an inferiority complex way. You might feel the need to overimpose yourself on others because you're afraid of retaliation, because you're afraid of the truth. Being afraid of the truth is also a sign of an imbalanced throat chakra, because a lot of times we can keep ourselves in illusion, and what we'll do is we'll remain stubborn, we'll remain arrogant, we'll remain in our ways, knowing what the truth is. And if you gossip a lot as well, if you backbite a lot, that's also an overactive throat chakra, really. And if you find yourself doing any of those things, it's time to really take a look within. And another thing I wanted to say about the throat chakra is that, when it comes to really listening to ourselves, if you can't listen to the spiritual messages, because we all understand synchronicity, we all have to understand our messages, but if you can't be humble with yourself to listen to what's going on, to listen to others, I'm not going to say necessarily that others, not everybody's going to have your best interest in mind, but the people that we have around us, occasionally we will see and receive spiritual messages through those people. So being able to properly communicate with others is key, because if you can do that, you'll be able to listen to different spiritual messages in the way that they come out through others, or through the example of others, whether it's a good one or a bad one. So this is why I say discernment is tied to the throat chakra. It's tied to a healthy throat chakra, and this is our center of being able to understand. Essentially, understand truth, find truth. It's all here. Being able to speak your truth is so important in this world, because if you can't even speak your truth, then someone else is going to give you a different truth to speak. Because, like I said, if you don't control your mind, somebody else is going to control your mind for you. So you have to be in touch with that truth within you, that truth within your heart. If you're not in touch with that, then you're not in touch with anything. Find yourself first. You have to find yourself by understanding where you're at, why you got there, and first realizing that what you thought you were isn't even really you. The real you is observing everything. So you're not even your experiences. So the process of creating a new you, which is alchemy, the process of alchemy involves letting go of that which was not divine. You want to let go of that which was not divine, because essentially what you're trying to become is the best version of yourself. But to become the best version, you have to understand that who you are isn't your best version. And whatever that is, that'll be the truth at that point in time. You can't be afraid to speak your truth, or to express your truth, because essentially that's the way that we get out of the matrix in the first place. And it's very key. Your truth is your power. Your spoken word is your power. Everything that you say becomes you. You don't ever want to speak of yourself in a way that is demeaning to yourself. You don't even want to do that to others, because doing it to others means that there's still a part of you that resonates with it, so you're still doing it to yourself. You just want to be who you are. So we have to hone in these lessons on the spiritual path. We have to hone in the lessons, and we really have to understand ourselves, because understanding self will get you out of this matrix. I promise you that. But getting out of the matrix first starts within the mind and the emotional body. So understanding your subconscious mind, understanding the chakras is key here. It's very key. If you want to balance an overactive throat chakra, you have to use the color orange. Visualize orange in your meditations. Wear a lot of orange. and eat a lot of oranges. Just everything dealing with the color orange, you want to use that, which is also the sacral chakra. Bring yourself back in touch. You want to ground yourself on that part of yourself, and just tone down the energy until you feel like you have a nice balance. And also, really, like I said, self-reflection is for every single chakra. So journaling will always be able to balance things, because you'll be able to understand what you're doing. You have to be conscious of what you're doing. So we're all conscious of when we backbite and we gossip on others, right? Because that's a sign of an overactive throat chakra. We're all conscious of that. We're all conscious of our addictive behaviors. We're all conscious of our dogmatic behaviors, our dogmatic thought processes, right? We have to understand, if we catch ourselves consciously, we'll be able to let go of this ASAP, honestly. Really, it's just, all this is really just about being conscious of what you do in your life, what you say in your life, what you listen to in your life, really. You want to listen to things that resonate with who you are. You want to take in things that resonate with who you are. You want to listen to things that resonate with who you are. Resonate with your heart, right? We're all different, so we have to find our groove. We don't have to all fit in the same mold. The throat chakra is about understanding who and what we are, and appreciating the differences that we have. That's really what the throat chakra is really about. I can get up here and I can talk my truth all day, and I don't give a fuck what anybody else has to say about it. But and honestly, if somebody feels opposed to it, that's okay. That's their opinion. But and if you resonate, that's also cool too. But I'm not gonna let other people's opinions sway. I'm not gonna try to align with because what I talk about isn't necessarily the popular opinion, but it's still my truth. How I express myself is my truth. See, these are things you don't want to hide. You don't want to hide from the world. Whoever you are, be that. Be it 100%. That's the key here, And if you appreciate the differences between yourself and others, and you let go of your dogmatic thought processes, you understand that who you are, what you do, and your beliefs, because we can still have beliefs. All of our truths are beliefs, right? And even if it's an inner knowing, that's the belief in your own inner knowing. So, but if we understand those differences, other people, in our interactions with other people, they will be raised up just by your own light, just by your own understanding. People are less antagonistic towards you, the less antagonistic you are towards others. So, if you want to change the world, you want the world to be understanding, the world to be appreciative of each other, do it within yourself first. That's the key here. Everything that I talk about, I've done within myself first. That's why I'm able to make these videos. And oddly enough, when I did it within myself first, everything changed around me. The people changed around me. And the world changed around me. Oddly enough, it's a different world. When you change the world within, it's a different world outside too. The way to change is within, truly. Don't worry about trying to change this world outside of here. This matrix, if you're too focused on the matrix, you're distracted. You want to change the matrix, the cheat code is within. Because you're in control. Like I said, you're always going to be in control of the matrix. But understanding how to control the matrix is by going within. That's the only way to do it. Because the mind is all. The mind is the universe. So when you understand your mind, you can control the universe. You can control the matrix too. It's all about understanding within. And to do that, you have to understand the chakras. You have to understand the subconscious mind. Understand the ego, how the ego operates. And then act accordingly. Be conscious of yourself. That's what consciousness is. When you're conscious of yourself, it'll be easy for you to realize what enlightenment is. And now when we talk about an underactive throat chakra, you won't be able to express yourself. You'll be cut off from expression, cut off from your creativity. You'll feel timid. Like I said, when it was hard for me to share, I felt timid about my work. My work was always beautiful. What I had to say was always beautiful. At one point, it was hard for me to even socialize because my throat chakra was so blocked. Actually, at those times, I actually had issues. I had TMJ at one point, and there were times where I wasn't able to express myself or defend myself with my words, and that was because my throat chakra was stagnant. It was blocked. I removed those blocks. You can remove your blocks in active time, because we can all make choices on the fly. Whenever you encounter a situation when you do feel timid, you do feel like it's hard for you to speak up for yourself. When you start doing it, if you do it in that moment, you can also balance the throat chakra that way too. It's not always about meditation. It's not always about visualization. You can change things the hard way when you deal with your problems on the fly, if you consider it hard, right? We all know the answers to our problems. We can actually, the more proactive we are, instead of being reactive to what happens to us in our environment, with others, the more proactive we are, the more we become God. That's the key here. Be proactive in what's going on with you. You have control. You just have to recognize it. And you recognize that in the lower chakra, the solar plexus, recognizing that you have control. You don't want to push all your control and all your power onto others. You want to give your power to your environment. You don't want to give your power to the government. You don't want to give your power to whatever else you're trying to blame. Your power is within. It's within you. When you understand that, you can do anything. Nothing will hold you back. But you have to understand it first. An underactive throat chakra, you'll hold back. And you'll hold back your truth. You won't express entirely what your truth really is. You'll only express a part of the truth, right? Which is still a withheld lie, right? So you don't want to hold anything back. Be 100% yourself. Speak 100% your truth. That's who you are. You'll be inconsistent with yourself with an underactive throat chakra. You want to be consistent with yourself. You want to be consistent with what you say. You want to be consistent with what you do. You don't want to sometimes express yourself and other times not. You don't want to sometimes express the truth and other times not. This is creativity we're dealing with. This is ourselves we're dealing with. You don't want to sometimes be able to communicate with others and other times not. Be who you are. Be consistent. Be consistent with who you are. And come to terms with who you are too. Come to terms with your past. When you come to terms with things, the chakras align automatically. Come to terms with everything that's happened to you and let it go. You'll be unreliable, manipulative, and manipulation is all about a lack of communication. It's all about fear. So that's also a root chakra issue too. So wanting to manipulate things is a sign of an imbalanced throat chakra, imbalanced solar plexus, imbalanced root chakra too. Everything, really. When you recognize that you're in control, you won't have to manipulate anything. When you understand your own power, you won't have to manipulate anything. You can just be, and things will happen. As long as you be yourself, things will happen that will align with who that is. That will align with your mission. Be who you really are. Everything will align for you. When I started being who I really was, my entire life aligned for me. And it ironed out the kinks. It's still ironing out the kinks. But the more I continue to be who I really am, 100%, the better things get for me. And I know if I have that mindset and it's working for me, you can try it and it might work for you. But these are how the chakras can operate, right? This is a general consensus of how they can operate. I still employ everybody, do your own research on this stuff and do the exercises that these chakra books give you so you can come to your own conclusion of what these chakras mean to you. An underactive throat chakra can't express their thoughts. There's a lack of creative expression. There's a dependency on others. And you'll suppress your feelings as well, because an underbalanced throat chakra also means your sacral chakra isn't properly being tended to too, because those two chakras are connected. So express your feelings more. Really just learning how to express yourself in real time. That'll balance out an underactive throat chakra. Use the color blue a lot. Wear the color blue a lot. Get in tune with your creativity. Balance out the lower three chakras. Understand yourself. And then work with the color blue more too. Just be who you are. Don't be afraid. Letting go of the fear will also balance out all chakras. So, you want to wear blue crystals like lapis lazuli, sodalite, lepidolite, azurite, aquamarine, sapphire. Get anything blue. Those are blue. Anything blue crystals those will all help the throat chakra. Any illnesses that or problems that occur with the throat chakra could be communication or speech problems, jaw issues. Jaw issues are big things with the throat chakra as well. Things dealing with any ear infections. Those are also throat chakra issues. Ignorance. That's an illness in my opinion. So knowledge being used in an unwise way. Wasting your knowledge, wasting or acting foolishly is a sign of an imbalanced throat chakra as well. Not being able to discern properly, so you're just listening to things and you're taking them in, or you're letting go of things that are actually helpful. You're not able to discern properly what's really beneficial to you, or if you impose too much your own opinion on things and you don't listen to things with an open mind, but understanding that you don't have to take in 100% the information, but you have to make the information your truth, find what resonates. If you can't do any of those things, that's a sign of a underbalanced throat chakra. Discernment is very, very, very key on the journey of an occultist. You want to be able to find out what your own truth is. You want to be able to find out things that aren't going to limit you. And so that involves balancing out the throat chakra. You'll have thyroid issues. And you'll also get sick a lot of colds. Anything dealing with coughing, that's a throat chakra issue. So herbs that you want to work with: frankincense, sage, lavender, tea tree, cypress. Deities: Sarasvati, Ganja, Nabu, Apollo, Hermes, Sachet, Mayat. And more ways to balance the throat chakra could be listening to music that you really enjoy. Music is very key for throat chakra because music's all about expression. Music's all about creativity. Listen to throat chakra music, or throat chakra binaural beats, or just listen to music that you really fuck with. That's so key with the throat chakra. If you like making music, make music too. Anything that harmonizes with your creativity. Read more, write more, draw more, express yourself more. That's really key. Having conversations with people, like being able to listen to others without being judgmental, without getting into some form of whether it's a conscious debate or a subconscious debate. Just being able to listen to others without being so opinionated. That's honestly, I feel like that'll balance out your throat chakra well too. Just listening to people talk, and even if you disagree with them, understanding where they're coming from, understanding who they are, without being so judgmental, without being so imposing, that's key. Talking to yourself. A lot of us don't take the time to really check in with ourselves, and we think that talking to ourselves is weird. But I know everybody does it when they really feel like they have to, or when they're alone. But if you're uncomfortable talking to yourself, you have to really, you have to understand where that's coming from, because that's not your own opinion. It's natural for us to talk to ourselves. It's not unnatural. It's not weird. So talk to yourself, because you can understand yourself. You're the only one who really does understand yourself. If you don't have an understanding of yourself, you're afraid to even be by yourself. That's a sign of unbalanced throat chakra and many other chakras as well. This is all about being comfortable with who you are at the end of the day, being honest with who you are at the end of the day. If you can't do those things, then maybe spirituality, maybe the occult isn't for you. Maybe alchemy isn't for you. But if you want to do those things, you want to do the work, then do it. Really, that's all I can really say. Chanting helps with the throat chakra. Humming helps with the throat chakra. Being out under the sky when it's blue also helps with the throat chakra. Being around anything blue, in the ocean, a blue ocean, the lakes, anything dealing with anything blue, that'll help balance out the throat chakra. So that's the video. That's the throat chakra video. I hope it motivated you guys to look into it and find out how to balance out the throat chakra for yourselves. I hope it inspired you guys to look into how to express yourself and really just how to be yourself and express your creativity more as well. I hope it inspired you guys on that and inspired you guys on your journey. I wish you all the luck in your journey and peace.